I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Double A Squad, what is good? Whew. It's Ryan. Across from me is Kelly. And you know what? Sometimes I view a podcast relationship a lot like I view a marriage. You come to the table, you look at your partner, and you go, what percentage you got today? Sometimes your partner looks at you and goes, I got 20. And then I look him back in the eye and I go, that's all right. I got your other 80. Let's go.
Yes. I'm appreciative of your 80. Can you do 90 today?
We could try to be.
Can we try 90?
We could try to get there. I'm feeling good. Feel like I'm recovering well from everything that was going on with me over the last, 10-ish days since you last saw me. So I was falling apart there for a minute.
Were you?
Lost my voice, had some sort of like laryngitis thing going on. Finally got it back, roughly. I mean, you can kind of still hear a little bit of the weirdness in it, but it's a lot better than it was a few days ago. Cut my finger wide open while I was working on fence. Not on said fence, but in the shed while I was putting something away. Freak accident. Nicked an artery in my ring finger.
Is that true?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
5 stitches later.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, so I got the stitches out today. But yeah, that was crazy. Bleeding all over the place. Luckily, my wife was home. She had the day off. As she was kind of transitioning between jobs and doing some other things. But yeah, I'm standing at the bottom of the stairs like, honey, I think I need your help. And so I'm like bleeding all over the place, get to the sink, and you kind of finally get a chance to really stop and look at it. And it was one of those moments where it's like a Band-Aid's not going to fix this.
Yeah.
So we
put that thing on ice.
Yeah, we wrap it up in a towel. We head to urgent care. Everything's good. And then they unwrap it and have me stick my finger in this solution to just kind of clean everything off or whatever before they're getting ready to do their thing. And it's not often, Kelly, that after 34 years of living on this earth that you find out something new about yourself. But 2 things have happened in the last 10 days. And they both happened in roughly the same room, but the same building, and then involving the same finger that was being worked on. So when I initially went to go get stitches, it was one of those things where I don't really have a queasiness towards anything for the most part. But as I'm watching them kind of like suture me up and do the whole thing, and I'm noticing that like, yeah, that's a nice gash in my finger, and that's what they're working on is me. And you get a lot of nerve endings in your finger. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, the room starts to get really hot. You know? And I'm like, can you give me a cup of water or something? Like, things aren't really feeling well. And the nurse is like, yeah, you're looking a little pale. I'm like, all right, cool. So they lay me down, and I'm, smelling like an alcohol pad, and they're getting my blood going again, and it's whatever it is. So they save me from passing out, suture me up, and it's all good to go, right? And so didn't think anything of it today. Just got to go get stitches out. But it's been a while since I've had stitches, and it's been a while, and I had stitches in my thumb when I was really little. Well, not really little, probably like 10 or 11. Sliced it open on a pocket knife type of thing, and yeah. If you didn't know, there's 3 major nerves in your thumb, and they have to take a needle and deaden each one. Excruciating. It's pretty terrible.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I haven't had that since however long ago that was, probably 20 some odd years now. And so this older gentleman comes in to take the stitches out, and not really what I was looking forward to. I was hoping for somebody maybe with a more, like
gentler touch,
youthful eye, maybe. Somebody that maybe degeneration hadn't happened yet, and I'm not being ageist or anything He did a very good job. But there were some of those. He goes, you had healed so well, humble brag, that some of these sutures are a little bit harder to get out because they're a little bit more embedded in there than we had inspected in the last 10 days. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. Like,
Leave
nice.
them in.
You know,
Leave them in.
Silver linings throughout this whole thing, right? I texted my wife, and I'm like, you know what? This week has kind of sucked. Haven't really had a lot of things go my way, but looking for the silver linings in things. The amount of times that I've been to the doctor's office this week, I've realized that I actually have really good blood pressure. She even said it today. She's like, you're like a teenager. I'm like, that's great. Love to hear that. That's awesome. And then 10 minutes later, I'm about to pass out because there's a lot of nerve endings, if you didn't know, in the tips of your fingers, Kelly. And then while you're looking at him trying to cut this thing out of your finger, for whatever reason, my stomach flips upside down. And the room starts to get hot again. And my wife's not here this time. I'm just by myself. And I look at the nurse, who is basically like my grandmother. And I'm like, can I like lay down for a minute? She's like, yeah. So she lays down, and she's like, she took good care of me. We got some apple juice and some chips or whatever. And so the whole time I'm laughing to myself because I'm like, there's no way they're not going to joke about this after I leave.
Oh,
This 230 pound, 6'2" guy, you know.
they're still laughing.
Yeah. Like this big, you know, young kid comes in.
Yep.
And he about passed out getting stitches taken out of his finger. But you just learn about stuff. You learn about yourself. Like, I can watch it happen on anybody else, but I'm seeing there was something about the, like, I don't know, what was going on and being able to see it and then, you know, having him, like, tugging on it. It was just weird. I didn't eat anything before I went in either, so I'm sure my blood pressure or my blood sugar was probably not as high as it needed to be.
Wow.
So.
Passing out's the worst.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, but it's the worst. You feel the flush, you feel the heat, ears start to ring.
Yeah.
When the peripheral vision starts going away, lights out.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to the floor and likely pissing their pants. That's probably how it's going to work because that's how it's worked for me. So yeah, that's how that goes.
Yeah. But it was just funny because I'm sitting there, or I'm actually laying there now, and she put a cold towel over my head, and I've got my hand out, and he's still finishing up what he's doing. And I'm like, this isn't, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't even, like, bad. And I'm sitting here like some sort of, like, drama queen because I can't apparently handle getting my finger worked on.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've had stitches before. I've had them twice in my head and once in my finger, and I've broken my elbow. And I'm no stranger to ridiculous things happening that have put me in, you know.
How was your $50 apple juice?
Oh, it was great.
Was that pretty good?
Yeah. I tell you what, that ice is top notch.
I bet.
She
That's
also gave me
$10 ice.
Yeah, she gave me two little graham crackers as well. So.
Oh, there's $20 a piece. Good to go.
Yeah, but I tell you what, though, what they've started doing now is, so when I went in the first time, they used some forceps and some tweezers to kind of do the whole, like, sewing of the finger together.
Oh.
And she looks at me and she goes, do you fish? And I said, I try. She goes, we just throw these away. Would you like to have them? And I said, sure. So I went home that day with two forceps and two tweezers that are now in my tackle box. Same thing happened today, except with two different tools that they were using.
Sure.
So I came home with tools.
You did.
So, hey, I feel like that kind of, I can't imagine what they're worth.
What a value.
Yeah.
What a value.
That's great. Yeah. So they were leaving, and I was like, thank you for the experience. I appreciate that, you know, and thanks for taking care of me.
Most people go to, Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's.
No,
You just go to Urgent
Yeah,
Care.
I cut my finger open, and I get a twofer.
That's a man.
I get apple juice, and I get tools.
And crackers.
And crackers.
And ice and a cool rag.
And I get taken care of by
talked about
an elderly nurse that
Yep.
treats me like her grandson.
And you're being talked about at 3 different dinner tables.
That's all right.
For about the next week.
Yeah. This big guy came in and
We
passed
had
out
this
because they're
guy
taking
in.
stitches out of his finger.
And they don't follow HIPAA, so his name is Ryan. And it's, yeah.
So, yeah. And then, on top of that, I tweaked a hamstring while I was playing softball. And then had to go to the chiropractor because my back was out of alignment a little bit. So that all happened within the last, 6 days.
Man.
So I was feeling like I was falling apart. But today, back feels good, got readjusted, hamstrings healing good. I was at the gym today. Things felt good. Stitches are out. Voice is back.
You're ready.
I am on the up and up.
You're ready for 95%.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to give you 5. That's just where
Yeah.
I'm at right now.
Yeah, you're kind of where I was at towards the tail end of last week. And because I know you've had a lot of different things going on family-wise and taking the kid off to school and a bunch of other things. So we talk about it all the time about how your kids are your heart living outside your body, and there's just these things that happen in life that make you recognize that periodically.
That's for me.
Expiration warning?
Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
That's great timing.
Yeah, it's so And I think it hits you like a truck because you get so involved in what's going on with life, and then all of a sudden life sneaks up on you, and now you're having a moment like you are, and it's like, holy crap, what happened? How'd we get here? And sometimes it just hits different.
And it's all for the better. It's all for the better, but I have to keep reminding myself of that.
Yeah.
About every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Growth, development, benefit, all that stuff. Yeah, I just have. My wife is doing a tremendous job with it.
Yeah.
Me, not as well. Yeah. Not as well. But we'll get there.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you still don't see that little kid in a football jersey at the age of like 6 as you're walking away from the dorm room.
Yeah.
Leaving it behind.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's just, you got to cherish every moment, man. I think it's just so fleeting. And I think I've, for whatever reason, not to get too in the weeds of it, but like just trying to take the moments for what they are, because you just never know. Like, and not to get like morbid about it, but you just never know when you're going to have that experience again, or what's going to happen, or even when you're going to be able to recognize it again. So,
yep.
So it just comes so fast, man. It's crazy.
But it's pretty refreshing when you know there's going to be that time, and you're not there yet, but you will be. But you know there's going to be that moment when your kids, you're going to release them, right? And they're going to have that moment to themselves where it's like, I'm starting to appreciate and understand the value of my parents and what they provided and the support and all that stuff. And I think that's a pretty refreshing moment when it actually hits them. And whether they say it, whether they post it, whether they put something in social media, however it goes, that moment is going to happen. And it has happened with my oldest daughter, and it happened pretty quickly with her. And I feel like we're well underway with my son, and he's been gone a little bit less than a week.
Well, yeah.
But it's coming around.
Yeah. Well, props to you and your wife for how you've raised them, because there's a lot of people that don't realize that until they're like in their 30s.
Yeah.
After they've had kids of their own, and then they start to realize what their parents did for them, or what that's like. So,
or you know, the kids post a heartfelt social media post of some sort, and not everybody really understands the relevance of that. They maybe don't get the main point of said post, but it
Yeah. Well, I think it's we're guys, we're dudes. We don't talk about our feelings all that much. But
no.
I think it's very poignant in the fact that, I think even before you went and dropped your son off, you were texting me and was like, "This is getting real. Like, it's starting to hit me hard." And all I said was, "I'd be worried about you if it didn't."
Yep.
Just means you're a good dad. So like you just gotta you're gonna get hit with stuff like that, but you guys have done a tremendous job. I think he's I've only met him like once, and I think that was when he was just a freshman in high school. I think he was in the office at one point in time, so I got to meet him and your youngest for just a split second.
Oh yeah.
But all the stories and stuff that you've told me from him playing and doing that stuff, I think he's going to be just fine. I think you've raised a good young man. So
I think so.
Yeah. And this is the point where you push them out of the nest, and you got to hope that they're going to be able to fly on their own for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
They always come back.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the way that you think or the way that you want. But they always come back, and now you just got to rest on the fact that you've hopefully taught him the right things in the right ways.
My wife did a great job. she did an outstanding job.
Yeah.
With him. No, it's going to be good. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's not initially, and you think you're ready.
Yeah.
And you like mentally, you think that I've got this. I'm under control. Yeah. I understand this. I know why this needs to happen. And you think you're ready. You think you've got your stuff together until you don't. And all of a sudden it's like, well,
I think that's good.
There's a heart in there.
Yeah, there's good.
I thought it was cold and dead forever, and by golly, there it is. It's right there.
Yeah, it's in that gooey custard that we talked about last week.
Exactly.
Might be crusty on the outside, but
it's there.
You're gooey on the inside.
And I'm all feelings now. I'm ready. We might as well just do this whole segment about feelings. Like I'm ready now. I'm opened up. I'm ready.
I'm just excited for you to come back in the fall after your son's taken the field for the first time, and you guys are there and you're able to witness it. And it's like, I think that'll be a fun thing to talk about, and all the things that you feel, whether good, bad, and different, or whatever. But just like that experience of kind of somewhat living vicariously through your son.
Oh yeah,
and being able to witness that, and just like what that's going to feel like.
So, yeah, I think that's going to be good.
Yeah,
it's going to be real good. So he called me, short of me coming over here to visit with you. He called me and told me that he believes that he's going to, and I don't know if he got a form. We got interrupted by another phone call, but I don't know if he received something that he had to fill out. I don't know what it is, but he's like, "Hey, Dad, I think I'm going to be in the 2027 college football game. And I'm like, what? He's like, the Xbox game. And I'm like, what? Really? So I don't know if somebody said something to him. I don't know if somebody's yanking his chain. I don't know how that works. That name, image, likeness stuff that started with the college football game from 2018, 2017, whatever year that was. I have no idea, but he was. So maybe he's jerking my chain just to get me excited. I don't have any idea.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, man, you make a video game, you're kind of a big deal. That's awesome. So I don't know. I don't know how that works.
All right. Cool.
We're going to find out, though.
Yeah. Do you know what doesn't work, Kelly?
Oh, man.
And that is our major topic of today's episode. So, and just to kind of fill everybody in, you're going to get 2 episodes this week because of scheduling stuff. And I haven't really told you, but I have to be out of town like all next week.
Oh, perfect.
So, as at time of recording, our episode that we recorded last week just dropped, and then there'll be another one this week. So you get a double dose of us this week as far as that's concerned. Not really sure where I was going with this, but anyway.
Topic.
Yeah. So
the
topic of today's show will be about the news that just struck today that's kind of been trying to figure itself out. But we're going to talk about Brendan Sorsby, who we've talked about before, Kelly.
Can I interject? Can I interject?
Yeah.
In my questions for you last week, I asked, and I feel this is super fitting, okay? And I'm going to let you get into it.
Yeah.
I asked you, Ryan, could college football ever separate entirely from universities and operate as a semi-professional league? So let me just tweak that just a bit. Could they separate from the university and just operate basically on their own? I ask this of you because what you're about to get into with Sorsby, if you can find, we're going to find out real quick. We're going to find out real quick about university involvement, what they're going to do, how they're going to police their own, all that good stuff. But when you were telling me prior to recording, when you were telling me kind of what was going down, and then you just kept reading off one bad thing, it's like watching the evening news, man. It's one bad thing after another. And that's today's episode.
Yeah.
That question, I'm like, I even asked about that. I asked about college football separating completely away from the university, and you're going to give countless examples of why that might not be a bad idea.
Might not be a bad idea, but also on the other side of things as to why it may not ever work based on what we're seeing here as far as the NCAA and their powers or lack thereof.
Well, what they're doing right now is not working. And you can, share with the world.
Yeah.
Share with the world.
So Brendan Sorsby.
I've got an opinion. You know this.
Yeah.
I've got and my 5% just went to about 40.
Yeah.
So feel good about that.
So I'm going to read this. You interject whenever you feel necessary. Don't be afraid to comment or throw something in there, and then we'll kind of discuss it after I go through all of this. But I just kind of want to lay everything out. So Sorsby's a guy that we talked about several episodes ago. It was mostly in conjunction with the fact that he was trying to get another year of eligibility. He was granted that, then went to Texas Tech. He was from Cincinnati. It was a whole thing, right? So if you want more on that, you can go back and listen to that. I don't remember what episode it was, but
and he was leaving the University of Cincinnati, who then sued him for breach of contract.
Correct.
They wanted $1 million, so Texas Tech was going to give him $5 million.
Yep,
There
pretty
it
much.
is. Same guy.
Yeah,
Same situation.
So Sorsby is in a bit of hot water here. Okay, so if you don't know,
No, he's not. He got out of the hot water.
well, it's not. He's not out of the woods yet. So Brendan Sorsby, current Texas Tech quarterback,
Maybe.
is in trouble for betting, for gambling,
Sports.
for
betting.
having a sports gambling addiction that has been classified as a mental health condition. So a Texas judge handed out a ruling Thursday, June 8th. Wait a minute. Yesterday, not Thursday. I can't read. Yesterday, June 8th, 2026, that completely blindsided the NCAA, blew the Big 12 race wide open and sent shockwaves through Capitol Hill. So when the NCAA first launched an investigation on April 27th, they uncovered a massive multi-year paper trail from Sorsby's time at Indiana, Cincinnati, and what probably would have been Texas Tech had this not been caught. So Sorsby's legal team eventually admitted to the full scope of his wagering. Sorsby wagered over $90,000 on sports over 4 years using online betting apps. To avoid detection, he routinely used the gambling accounts of friends and family members, which we have heard about that numerous times.
Sound logic.
In pre-show, I said, sounds a lot like an Ohtani situation there.
Sure does.
Where you're using other people to make your bets so that it's not actually you. He placed at least 40 bets on his own team while at Indiana in 2022. And his lawyers heavily emphasize that he never bet on games he actually played in, and he stopped betting on the Hoosiers entirely once he became the starter. He was also caught betting on random props, including individual balls and strikes for Cincinnati Reds games. Yet another stroke of irony, considering, Kelly, who played for the Cincinnati Reds?
I'm not sure.
Pete?
Sarcasm, Ryan. Pete Rose. Pete Rose. Who's still, anyway.
Dead.
Yeah, right.
and not in the Hall of Fame.
But would set up next to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So the NCAA, in the NCAA, betting on your own sport, let alone your own school, is the ultimate death penalty infraction. On May 26th, the NCAA officially ruled that Sorsby would be permanently ineligible for college sports, this effectively ending his career. They subsequently denied Texas Tech's frantic institutional appeal on June 5th. The exact day the investigation went public in April, Sorsby checked into a residential rehab facility and was diagnosed with sports gambling addiction. That's odd. So you get found out about your crimes, and then you're immediately, it's like,
now I have an addiction.
Yes, now I need help, right?
Yes.
So he checks in, gambling addiction, while Texas Tech, who had just secured him as a transfer with a reported $6 million NIL package, which you just talked about, vowed to stand by him. With the college career on life support and with a June 22nd deadline looming to enter the NFL supplemental draft, Sorsby's lead attorney, Jeff Kessler, filed a Hail Mary lawsuit in the Lubbock County District Court. Kessler argued that Sorsby suffers from diagnosed gambling and anxiety disorder. Under the NCAA's own constitution regarding student-athlete mental health, they argued that the NCAA cannot permanently ban a player for medical illness. Thus meaning that if he were banned for this illness, Kelly, and not able to play in the 2026 season, it would therefore contribute to an ongoing issue with his disorder for anxiety and gambling,
sure,
and not being a part of something, right?
Absolutely.
So yesterday, Tarrant County Judge Ken Curry
retired.
Oh, sorry,
Ryan. Retired judge.
My bad. I
retired.
I forgot
meaning,
to, yeah.
Meaning he's not actively practicing any longer. He's retired.
So and you've been a part of the court system a lot longer than I have.
Wee bit.
How does he still how does a retired judge still have the ability to make rulings?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
That's like a retired police officer going out and just arresting
somebody. Has to appoint it.
Yeah.
So who is the appointing authority? I don't know. Yeah. Somebody has to appoint it.
Yeah. And this is just one of the things that has one of those things that, okay, now my antenna's up, right? Like he's a retired judge making rulings on this. Anyway, so yesterday, retired Tarrant County Judge Ken Curry sided with Sorsby, basically stating that, yeah, your argument has water, and he granted a temporary injunction restoring Sorsby's eligibility for the 2026 season while the full lawsuit plays out. Now, Kelly, I heard on Dan Patrick this morning that this lawsuit will not even the injunction that he put in will not even be heard in court until February of 27.
After the college football playoffs.
Very interesting, right?
Can you answer me a question?
Probably not, but go ahead.
If you were to take a stab at where a retired judge went to school, beyond high school, what would that university be?
I don't know. You mean other than the fact that he has a picture taken with the damn mascot of said school?
Yeah, that one.
So Mr. Ken Curry is not only a resident of Lubbock County Public Schools that he attended when he was a child, and not only attended Texas Tech for his undergrad, he also attended Texas Tech for his postgrad for his law degree as well.
Wonderful.
Anyway, what I mean to say is he's a Texas Tech alum through and through, and he bleeds red and black when it comes to Lubbock and the Texas Tech Rebels.
And he somehow heard the injunction and restored the eligibility.
Wow.
Of a Texas Tech
player
quarterback.
Yeah.
This
must be a miracle.
That's crazy.
Talk about a Hail Mary out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like the old Miss judge that approved what's his name to come back for his 9th year.
Correct.
Or whatever it was.
Yeah, crazy.
Weird how this is working out.
So again, you've got infractions that are set down by the NCAA. This was the death sentence, right? As far as your career goes, NCAA goes, you can't do this once, let alone many times that would necessitate us to basically say you can no longer play college football. The NCAA is like, you can't do this. So now we have another instance where they're like, oh yeah, watch me. So then these players go to court, and the judge is like, I don't really give a shit. Go ahead and play.
Correct.
Or, yeah, I'm an alum there. You're a current player there, and I donate a lot of money to this school.
Yeah.
So I need my investment to actually be worth something. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and file an injunction, and we're going to make sure that injunction is not heard until 2047.
That NIL money you just received is mine.
Exactly.
That's mine.
So again, it's like the NCAA has no bearings on anything that goes on here. They are just a 3-letter acronym that means nothing and has no power in it whatsoever. Now the judge, this Ken Curry, or Texas Tech Judge Ken Curry, as we should probably call him, did institute a 2-game suspension to start the 2026 season, which I have no idea how he's even able to implement that, because he's not a sitting board member or an embodiment of the NCAA, the Big Ten, or Texas Tech. I guess technically you could say he is of Texas Tech, because there's no way he's not some sort of booster. But instead of a lifetime ban, the judge implemented his own punishment. How do you do that? What are the rules? Are we just making the rules up as we go?
Yes.
I don't get this.
Yes.
I don't understand.
That's how it happens.
So
this is a big problem.
So the punishment is that he gets a 2-game suspension to start 2026, provided that Sorsby continues his addiction treatment and provides the NCAA with medical updates. So therefore, this feels like, have you ever been in a situation where your kid gets in trouble and you're like, you're grounded for a week for everything that you've done. This is ridiculous. Like, no TV, no video games. You're going to read books and stay in your room the whole time.
Yeah.
And then your wife comes in behind you and goes, it's not really a week. What he did wasn't that bad.
He's overreacting.
Yeah, come on, honey. Like, you stay in your room for an hour. We'll go get ice cream after a while.
Yeah, no, I have not been in that situation.
I'm just saying.
But I get it.
Isn't that what this kind of feels like? Where the NCAA
Yes.
is like, dude, you broke, like, the rule. Like, we have one rule. Don't bet on sports that you're involved in.
Yeah.
And the judge is like, because I went to a little bit more schooling than you did, and you're okay, you're fine.
But to back up the NCAA with a little credibility, they've enforced that rule on other players.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we will. But they've enforced that player. So this isn't just looking at Sorsby and saying, hey, this is a unique situation. We're gonna hit you with a death penalty. No.
Yeah.
They've enforced said rule
So
on
mind you,
prior players. That was significantly less than $90,000, 4 years, 3 schools, and a partridge in a pear tree.
So, all right, let's just get into it now. There have been plenty of tweets about this. There's been a couple of other things, but I think, to your point, there's a lot of ridiculous things that people have been suspended for. But this, I think you can carbon date this or put a pin in it where NIL entered the picture with transfer portal and where it was before that.
Yes.
Right? So it was kind of almost like NIL gets implemented and the credibility and power of the NCAA goes away,
Big
whereas
time.
before that they were able to kind of like do some of these things as they wanted. So this tweet comes from Scott Van Pelt. He says, there aren't any rules. You just go to court. If it fails, you go to court again until it just says that you're all set. Want a 7th year? Sure. Broke the rules? It's fine. There aren't really any rules anyway. Peter Burns, hear me out. LSU should sign Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase on their NFL bye week. Let them play. NCAA declares it's illegal. Just find a Louisiana judge to file an injunction.
Bingo.
Rules are just pesky suggestions now. In 2014, the South Carolina football team received a minor infraction excuse me, from the NCAA because it used cookie cake as an impermissible icing, or with impermissible icing on it. So according to a report, the football team gave impermissible icing decorations on a cookie cake to recruits. Yes, the Gamecocks got a slap on the wrist from the NCAA for breaking a rule about icing on a cookie because it was apparently helping them recruit kids for their football team.
Absolutely.
3 years ago, which would have been 2023, Hunter Deckers was ruled ineligible for placing $2,799 in bets, and he never played Division Football I again. Contrast that with Brendan Sorsby, who placed $90,000 worth of bets while at 3 different schools and will have the opportunity to play football this year.
Yes.
Noah Shannon, Iowa, model citizen, was slated to be the Iowa senior defensive captain in 2023. Stated he had guilt pangs for having bet $10 on the Iowa women's basketball team in the 23 NCAA tournament. The only bet he ever made. He turned himself into coaches for the transgression, who forwarded it to the NCAA. Kelly, the NCAA ruled him ineligible for the entire season.
Entire season.
Effectively ending his career. If the NCAA allows someone else to play after making thousands of bets, including many on its own team, we're going to have riots. Those are just a few.
3 schools, 90 grand, 4 years,
40
games he played,
40 different bets placed on his
teams he
own
played
team.
for. Yes, we have a problem.
Yeah. So
It's not like we didn't talk about this coming. It's not like we haven't spent countless hours on these damn episodes talking about the NCAA lying down, letting things happen. Somebody has to institute something. They need a freaking commissioner, and they need a hard and fast rule.
Yeah. So the NCAA is in absolute damage control mode. They immediately fired an accelerated appeal in the 7th District Court of Appeals in Texas to try and reverse the injunction before the season starts. The NCAA released a scathing response stating they are deeply concerned about the damaging, far-reaching, and broadly destabilizing ramifications of this outcome, which undermines and corrupts the integrity of the sport. I believe everything that's said in that statement is 100% true.
Yes.
Charlie Baker, who is the NCAA president, took directly to Twitter to beg Washington for help, stating this case is the perfect example of why Congress needs to pass the Protect College Sports Act to strip judges of the power to overturn NCAA rules.
Also agree.
There are times where I don't even know what to say, because it's just like the obvious thing is staring you in the face. And we could just beat you over the head with it and just continue to say $90,000 worth of bets, 40 on his own team, 3 teams, and he checked into a clinic the day he got caught.
Correct.
This wasn't like
not a problem until then.
Yes, it's not a
It's never illegal until you get caught. I've been told that countless times. So where are you at, Big 12? Big 12, where are you at? Spokesperson, Big 12, attorney for the Big 12. Where are you at, Big 12? NCAA feels like they're pretty helpless. Throw their hands in the air. Where's the Big 12? Where's Texas Tech? Where's the coach for Texas Tech? Who's going to make a statement? What are we going to do? Where is your integrity? Let's find out.
Yeah. I mean, there's gotta be some form of like self-policing at this point, because you just allow this kid to play. I mean, there's been people that have been crucified for much less
So here's
than what he's done, and now you're looking at the other side of it. Is this is the biggest legal defeat the NCAA has taken since the NIL floodgates opened. So Jeffrey Kessler, the attorney, just completely. I'm so sorry. I got something going on with my throat with whatever's happening with the voice stuff that I've had over the last couple of weeks. But he's weaponized the Americans with Disability Act, is what he's done here.
Yeah.
And he's used the NCAA's own verbiage against them and basically said that they argued that gambling's a disease, and the judge is like, yeah, it is.
Loophole, use it.
But
another one, use it.
I mean,
question.
This is something he's going to have to work on the rest of his life. This isn't something you just go to treatment for and you're done.
No, but at least he gets another year of college football. So let's ask this question. Sorsby plays, right? Because the next injunction isn't being heard until February. College football playoffs are done. National championship is crowned. Let's say, hypothetical world, Ryan, Texas Tech wins a national championship. They then have the hearing on February 27th. That prior injunction gets overruled. What happens then? Texas Tech forfeit all their wins?
No.
They give back a national championship trophy? Like, what happens?
No.
The guy is no longer. He already knows he's not eligible to play. By February of 27, he's done. He's done with college football. We know this. He's not going to get the additional year. Perhaps. Perhaps he will. It depends on what the retired judge has going on that weekend.
Yeah.
In any event, what happens when they win these games? Do they forfeit them? If it gets overruled? What happens?
I mean, based on
what do you come back with?
Based on
then?
precedents, it's no, because then you should have argued that with the Michigan stuff after they won the national championship with Harbaugh, because they found out that Harbaugh cheated, did all that stuff. He got suspended for 3 games, and then he still went on to win a national championship, and they didn't strip anything from him.
Right. Totally different avenue. Totally different.
And that wasn't in the NCAA coming down on Harbaugh. That was the Big Ten.
Right. Totally different context, right? Joe Paterno lost how many wins over the whole Sandusky scandal and all that crap that went on?
You know better. I have no idea.
They stripped him. Yeah. They stripped him of countless wins, right? And that was, I understand, context totally different. Was it more egregious? Was it more severe? I don't know. That's open for argument, whatever you want to do with that. But this is an enormous problem. And now the groundwork has been laid for this to happen time and time again with future players. If you know, Ryan, we said this, right? We said this. There is sports betting among all of these universities, among all of the sports within universities. There are people who are sports betting. If you're going to allow it and you're going to let it happen, then they're going to do it. Now they've seen that you can sports bet, you can admit to it, $90,000 worth through universities, and even while you're playing for the team, you can admit to this. You can have somebody step in, and you can really come away. I mean, ultimately, I think it's fair to say you can come away with no consequence.
Yeah, I mean,
so open the damn floodgate.
At the worst, you get to miss 2 games at the beginning of the season that now with playoffs and all sorts of other stuff, ultimately.
And who are the 2 games against, Rand? It doesn't matter. You don't have to look at the schedule. What I'm saying is,
I am curious.
Everybody starts with non-conference games, and they're generally a much weaker opponent. It's generally a warm-up game. It's more so a scrimmage than it is an actual competition. So those are the 2 games he gets to miss. He's going to come out of this because of a disability clause. He's going to come out of this with no consequence whatsoever.
Yeah, they play Abilene Christian to start the season.
Right. So he placed 90,000.
And then they play Oregon State.
He placed 90,000 in bets. What did he win?
I was thinking about that too. Like how much?
Yeah, how much is he ahead? How much is he behind? Whatever. All we know is 90,000 at this point. Truth will come out eventually. The numbers will fly, but there's no consequence.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you find one, let me know. A 2-game suspension against 2 non-conference weaker opponents is not necessarily a consequence. He'll be doing the summer camp stuff. He'll be doing fall camps. He'll be doing all the stuff with the team when he's allegedly done with his rehab. You know, if that's actually what's taking place.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. There are very few moments in the world or in life where I'm speechless. I can just hear something and just sit back and just think, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
It
was only a time. I mean, what happens next? Somebody's going to break the law and still get to play at this point? Because, I mean, you see this stuff escalating. You already mentioned it with Trinidad Chambliss in Ohio, in Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Where they just go out and they find a judge that happened to go to Ole Miss, and they're like, yeah, sure, you can play for your 10th year or whatever the hell it is.
Correct.
Same situation here. I mean, this is some serious stuff. Like, betting on games that he was, I guess, not directly involved in, but he was a part of, like his teams that here 40 different times. 40 different times he bet on Indiana.
Correct.
Excuse me.
While a member of them.
While a member. And then while he never bet on games he actually played in, still, it's a rule for a reason. Like, you start to push the envelope on some of this stuff. At what point does he actually, I mean, if he never gets caught, you can kind of see how this snowballs into him placing bets on games that he's involved in.
Right.
Like,
well, and
it's like it's gateway gambling. Like, you start off with a little bit, and then, okay, well, I didn't get caught, so now I'm gonna like kind of up the ante here a little more.
Well, and he's not playing for the first 2 regular season games. I mean, there's 2 free games for him to bet on.
True.
He can have it that.
He's not directly involved in those.
He's not in there.
Yeah.
Right? He's not scrubbing points or doing anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a very slippery slope. And this is kind of one of the other things that we've touched on briefly, but when you give children essentially millions of dollars and don't teach them how to use it or in any way to be responsible with it, this is how you end up with Georgia football players doing 100 miles an hour in their Lamborghini down the highway. Yeah. This is how you end up with Texas Tech quarterbacks who have a gambling addiction because they just have so much money they don't know what to do with, so I'm just going to gamble it.
Where did it leak?
I have no idea.
They opened an investigation from what? Stemming from what? Where did it leak?
I don't know.
Whistleblower?
I'm sure they
'Cause,
have their
he
sources.
didn't tell on himself. I'm confident he didn't tell on himself.
Yeah. I'm sure they could probably look at some. Well,
Jealous ex-girlfriend?
I think it's interesting that your friend who doesn't really make a lot of money is placing like $5,000 bets.
Right. Yeah, probably a joke in the locker room.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, whoop, well,
Something
that
to
got
effect.
out.
Yeah. Who's your friend? Oh, your best friend is Brendan Sorsby?
Was.
That's interesting.
Was.
Yeah. You don't have any NIL deals. You're just the guy that goes here. We've seen your pay stubs through the IRS. You're not making enough to be able to consistently bet $5,000 through these betting apps.
Exactly.
We're going to dig a little deeper into this. So, interesting. Yeah.
One of many.
Yeah. So, lastly, I mean, Texas Tech now gets their $6 million quarterback for a run at the Big 12 title. All he has to do is sit out 2 games. Potentially, we'll see what the Big 12 does or what. I imagine Texas Tech has already come out and said we stand beside him. Well, of course you did. You got a $6 million investment. You're not going to not play him. And which goes back to what you were talking about with the coach. Like, where's the integrity here? Well, I guess he just doesn't have any because as long as he gets his guy, that's all that matters. Right?
The uniform cookie cutter statement, we stay out of legal matters.
Yeah.
We stay out. That's what you hear NFL wide. You hear that in college, obviously now.
Yeah.
You hear it in every organization.
Yep.
We stay out of legal matters. Okay, great.
Meanwhile, every compliance officer in America is staring at a future where they can't enforce a single rule because players can just get a doctor's note and a local court injunction, and you can just kind of do whatever you want.
Wow.
So, from a pure football standpoint, the Raiders' season is saved. Sorsby, who is currently completely healthy and taking OTA reps, is coming off a massive year from Cincinnati where he accounted for 36 total touchdowns. He'll miss the early 2 games, but then be eligible for the rest of it as long as he stays healthy. But craziness. Craziness. I sit here and I'm just like, how can you be this governing body and have no power?
Because you're not governing anything.
It's true. It's true. But I mean, it's just, what are you? You just collect the money and...
Well, yeah, it's not... agencies like this, Ryan. We aren't proactive. We're reactive. We wait until shit hits the fan before we provide some type of reaction to it. And it's biting them in the ass routinely, time and time again. I don't know. I got nothing. I don't. I mean, I'm you know how this works with me, man.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I think we talked about it last week where it's like when you see somebody making decisions that doesn't make sense to you, where you're like, I literally can't get myself in a brain processing function to understand how you could feel that way or do that or say that. And that is that for me. Like, I don't get how you get to a point where, like, as a lawyer, like, you know that he broke a rule, right? Like, this is like the rule. And you're going to weaponize mental illness to get him to play. Like, that's the part of this that I'm like, that's super not cool.
Yeah.
And kind of a skeezy way to do it.
It is.
And then
it's allowed.
But then it makes me wonder, and I think I talked about this with the Ole Miss stuff. And thank God that guy's retired and he's not making consistent rulings. But that makes me question every other ruling you've ever had in your entire life.
And if he's a retired judge, he's handed down several.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the one for Ole Miss, I'm pretty sure he's still a sitting appointed judge.
Maybe.
That's it. Like, and I understand we're just talking about a guy's eligibility, whatever. He either gets to play or he doesn't. On the grand scheme of things versus $90,000 in betting on your own team or giving a guy another year of eligibility, it's apples and oranges. It doesn't really matter.
Well, let's go Big 12.
But this in particular makes me go, like, what else were you influenced in ruling on because of other extenuating circumstances?
Right.
Makes me question everything about your judgment, who you are. And as a judge and as somebody that's sat in courtrooms with judges, that's a very concerning thing.
Agreed.
Based on the important decisions that they have to make on a daily basis. So that's like the broader scope of this whole thing. But
well, let's see what the Big 12 does, shall we? Texas Tech is going to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to it. They've got their investment.
Listen, part of me thinks that the Big 12 is just going to go, you know what? The judge said 2 games. We feel like that's pretty good, so we're going to suspend him for 2 games.
And we're just going to let the NCAA handle the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he's no longer eligible.
Everybody has an out.
Because guess what, Kelly? We got to try to find a way to compete with the Big 10 and the SEC.
Correct.
And we're going to do that with Brendan Sorsby.
Not for all 10 games. I don't know. I don't know. I just I take a hard and fast stance on so many different things, and my age gets in the way of a lot of stuff and the way I feel about certain things. And it's not like
This is black and white, though.
Correct, and it's not new information. It's not like people couldn't see the writing on the wall. It's not like you didn't know this was going to happen. You knew this was going to happen. And everything that was happening at the professional level always trickles down. It started with, long before Hunter Deckers, but Hunter Deckers for Iowa State, that became a big thing, and that is peanuts compared to what this is right now.
Well, and I mean, I wouldn't even have a big problem if they came out and said, yeah, he placed $90,000 worth of bets on the Cincinnati Reds while he was playing for Cincinnati, the University of Cincinnati or whatever.
Sure.
I'd be like, okay, whatever. He's betting on baseball. He doesn't play baseball. That's professional sports. He's a college player that happens to be located in the same city that the Cincinnati Reds do, but he has no affiliation with the Reds. Like, even if it was another college team that was in a different conference that they never played, that's a different story. The thing that gets me is 40 different times he bet on his own team.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
No.
In any sort of realm.
No, and it wasn't only 40. Is that what they have proof of? Or is that all
sure.
they
and
have
I'm sure you're
proof
probably
of?
using the DUI logic where it's like you've been caught 40 times, but how many times have you know?
Yeah, he and his attorney may own 40.
Yeah.
But that's not the realistic number.
Correct.
But I would say that's probably enough to impose a consequence. I think that's enough.
Yeah. So,
but let's overrule that. Let's do that. Let's overrule that.
Yeah.
Go Red Raiders.
Yet another great thing to pay attention to for this season. So, for a minute, and then we'll forget about it because we've got the attention spans of goldfish, and this won't even be a story.
No, you know me. I remember shit, and I hold on to things for a long time, and I might,
yeah,
I might just hope that a certain college football team just has a really bad season. I might just hope for that.
I kind of hope they make the playoffs just so the drama.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Just give us something to talk about a little bit more and just be like, you remember when we talked about that story back in June, Kelly? Well, here it is rearing its ugly head again in December.
How many media outlets right now have pulled up their vans and inserted all their satellites and all their good stuff right outside that rehab center?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
You know?
They're waiting for the day that he walks
They're
out.
closing blinds and shades and drapes and everything else right now because he's really got to focus. He's got to focus on anxiety disorders and his gambling addiction. He really needs to be invested and make the most of that rehabilitative effort.
While he's at OTAs.
Right. Yep.
Crazy. Well,
that's only during the day. You know.
Yeah. Our next story, if you were looking for good news,
there's nothing good coming today. Let's just get that out there.
Maybe the last story. Over the last 2 weeks, the NFL and its offseason has been heavily disrupted by 3 high-profile domestic violence arrests. One that came just last night. These cases have put the spotlight back on the league's personal conduct policy, just as OTAs wrap up and minicamps start to begin. So, Kelly, number one that we'll talk about, which I think is the most interesting, because there are some very, and I'm not making light-hearted jokes at anything that's happening here, because whether some of it's true or not, we're still dealing with some very serious allegations. But Jonathan Cooper.
Who's hungry? You hungry?
I'm hungry for knowledge.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Jonathan Cooper, who's a linebacker for the Denver Broncos. The most detailed situation involves the Broncos' rising edge rusher, who signed a 4-year, I'm dyslexic, I'm convinced, $54 million contract extension in 2024. Cooper, who's 28, and his girlfriend were both arrested late Thursday night, June 4th, by Parker Police Department in Colorado. Cooper was booked in jail on suspicion of criminal mischief with a domestic violence enhancer, and his girlfriend, who was also arrested on misdemeanor domestic violence and petty criminal mischief. I love the word mischief. It's great.
Mischief.
Yeah. Like they're just kind of
mischievous.
Yeah. According to the police affidavit, the arrests stemmed from an argument over cell phones that escalated into a physical confrontation after she accused him of, Kelly, infidelity. The scuffle resulted in damaged phones. Cooper reportedly told police he grabbed her by the upper arms and braced his neck against hers while trying to retrieve his phone. Cooper appeared in court on Friday, June 5th, and was released on a personal recognizance bond. Yesterday, June 8th, he formally pleaded not guilty, Douglas County courtroom. His defense attorney, these guys all have the same names, Harvey Steinberg, requested a swift trial date so it wouldn't interfere with training camp. Oh, that's so nice of him. The judge scheduled motions hearing for July 6th and tentative jury trial for July 22nd. Cooper posted an apology on Instagram account over the weekend stating, "This situation is not who I am." More details have come out about this. We'll get into it, and then I want your reaction. So this comes from the sports page Forever Football on Instagram. They have an exclusive basically stating that Jonathan Cooper and his girlfriend Jade were both arrested Thursday night following a physical altercation at Cooper's Denver area residence that began with an argument over allegations of infidelity and ended with Cooper, Kelly, eating her phone.
Who's hungry? Who's hungry? I know I sure am.
Jade told officers she confronted Cooper about cheating. During the dispute, she threw his phone against a wall and took it to read messages. She alleged that she tried to leave, but Cooper grabbed her by the neck with one hand, lifted her off her feet, and pinned her against the wall for about a minute while he retrieved the phone. She said that he then threw her to the ground 3 times, punched the wall next to her face, grabbed her, and pulled her toward the floor. Jade told police she was unable to get up at one point. She also said Cooper threatened to break her phone if she did not leave and then put the device in his mouth and ate it, causing damage.
To what? His esophagus? The phone?
I'm trying to figure out
his ass?
I'm trying to figure out the logistics of eating a phone, number one, and then number two, the different damages of things.
Hey, Siri.
Yeah. Yeah. She noted the phone contained irreplaceable messages and voice notes from her late mother, which Cooper was aware of. Jade said she did not lose consciousness and did not see spots during the incident. Cooper gave officers a different account. He said, and this is the one that we read earlier, but he basically said that held her by her arms to get the phone back and later braced his neck against hers to stop her from taking it again. He admitted to officers that he damaged her phone by putting it in his mouth and eating it. Both Cooper and Jade were booked on misdemeanor charges of domestic violence and criminal mischief. Criminal mischief counts stem from the damage caused to each other's phones during the struggle.
I'm curious how you brace your neck against another. How do you do that? What does that look like?
Are they on the ground?
See, is that what that is?
Yeah,
what does that look like? Because she alleged to be a foot in the air.
Yeah.
He alleges he braced his neck against her. What is that? Is that like her lip might have bumped my shoulder?
I don't know.
Or my fist?
There's a lot of different things.
Like how did that?
Yeah.
Curious how that worked. I'd like to draw a picture.
That's not my biggest question of this.
Why did he eat the phone?
How did he eat the phone?
Oh man, I'll tell you. Was it? It must have been just a small flip phone, maybe. I'm not entirely sure.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
To me, just based on the stuff that's coming out, this will probably be something that'll be kind of brushed under the rug, and because of the fact that she also has charges.
She wanted his phone due to infidelity. Correct? Am I reading this correctly? She wanted his phone over infidelity. She threw the phone, smashed the phone. He ate her phone.
Probably out of spite.
And he ate her phone knowing that she obviously had some memories on said phone.
That sounds like a vicious lash out towards like
a power and control move.
I can't physically hurt you, nor should I.
Emotionally, I'm going to tie you in knots. Because every little picture and everything that you have on here from your past of deceased relatives or whatever it may be, I'm just going to go ahead and eat that.
Yeah. Like, literally.
Right.
Yeah. That's wild. That's a wild place to be within your brain to, like, convince yourself that that's the action you need to take.
Man, I'll tell you what.
So you're saying there might be a correlation between actions and getting your head bounced off the turf multiple times throughout a year? Is there a correlation there, or I'm just making that up?
You're making that up. You're making that up. Pure speculation.
Okay.
Purely.
All right.
There's a big problem.
So that's story number one. As far as the DV goes, the story number two would be
Stop hate.
Alaric Jackson, who is the left tackle of Los Angeles Rams, who last night on June 8th was arrested by Los Angeles police for felony domestic battery. This one looks a little bit more, I don't know. This one doesn't look as good as some of the other ones based on some of the details we've got. So officers
define good.
I think in the other ones there's a reasonable enough doubt that there might be either a misconception on the details that happened or someone else's involvement.
Truth left, truth right, truth in the middle.
Correct.
Got it.
It's like she's got some blame to happen here. He's got some blame to happen here. Whatever. This one, to me, just based on what we're reading here,
not good.
Not good. So he was arrested Monday night, June 5th, on felony domestic battery charges. Officers responded to a call around 11 p.m. regarding an argument between Jackson and a woman. The police stated that Jackson allegedly attempted to force a phone.
Ooh, common theme.
Away from her because he believed she was filming him. Responding officers noted scratches on the woman's arm. And that's never good when you've got, damage.
Yeah.
Jackson was held overnight on a $50,000 bail, which he successfully posted this morning, June 9th, to secure his release. Neither the Rams nor the NFL have issued a formal statement on his status yet. Jackson is already facing intense scrutiny, having previously served a league suspension in 2024 related to personal conduct issues. So he's got a bit of a history there with that one. But with the scratches on her arm and some of the other details that have come out, it's like not looking very good for him as far as that's concerned.
Interesting that the signature on his bond for that $50,000, the signature on there was Sorsby. Weird.
Nice.
Weird how that works.
Nice. Are they teammates?
No.
Previous? I'm just kidding. And then the other one that we talked about a little bit last week.
Soon to be cellmates.
Yeah, but Josh Jacobs, running back for the Packers, a string of recent incidents technically began over Memorial Day weekend with the Packers' big money free agent acquisition. Jacobs was arrested on May 26th following an incident that resulted in 4 total charges, including 1 felony domestic violence count. Because this happened just as Green Bay was opening voluntary spring practices, it completely altered the narrative surrounding the team's retooled backfield, which basically consists of nobody. Legal proceedings are still in the early discovery phase, and the Packers organization has remained relatively quiet while gathering information. Last that I heard from this was the fact that the state's attorney's office was trying to come up with any sort of evidence to actually present formal charges against him, because really at this point there's not enough evidence with what they brought to the police department with him to charge him of anything.
Right.
So they're doing more discovery to see if there's any sort of validity as to whether they're going to bring this case up or not.
Roger.
So, and the state's attorney's office typically will charge a ham sandwich, so if they can find it. So we'll see how that goes, but we'll see. There's a lot coming out here. I haven't heard anything from the female side of this.
No.
Like nothing.
No.
And so this, I don't know. And I'm as a Packer fan, I'm trying not to get too emotionally invested in it. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens of it. But I mean, this has been since May 26th. We're at June 9th. He's already returned to OTAs. He's been around there. LaFleur and the Packers have made a couple comments. But so far, this story has gone nowhere at this point. So do we have a problem in the NFL?
Big.
I mean,
it's been there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just one of those things that it just keeps coming up. But I mean, this specifically, and maybe it's just the timing of it all, but it's been one after another involving somebody somewhere on an NFL team potentially hurting someone else.
How much? Okay, so with Sorsby, right? We went into the mental health side of things, went into the anxiety disorders, the gambling addiction, whatever. But they found the loophole with the mental health side. Do you feel, because I do you feel like in each of these situations and many more to come, the same approach is going to be taken with these guys and the alleged violence and potential CTE or concussion fallout or whatever the case is, that they're going to make it? They're going to somehow twist this into a medically diagnosed problem.
Oh, you mean at some point?
Yes.
Where the NFL can look back and go, listen, we've had a string of...
Or even with this.
We've had a string of domestic violence, things that have happened over the course of the last 10 to 15 years.
And it's from head trauma. It's from head trauma that's experienced by the players.
They will never do that.
No, you don't think so?
Well, okay.
No.
So now
not the NFL.
Okay.
Not the NFL, the legal teams.
Oh.
The legal team's trying to twist this into a medical thing, the same way Sorsby's did, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. And I don't want to talk ill of like defense counsel or anything like that, but I mean,
no.
They will try any sort of loophole they can in order to win, to try to get their client where they need to go.
Yes.
Right? So I mean, you are advocating for that person, and I guess that's one way to advocate is saying, hey, this is our option, and this is what we get. This is where we can take it. I thought you were specifically saying that the NFL would say that. I'm like, there is no way the NFL would ever come out and say,
No.
our sport is causing head trauma, which is leading towards people getting the shit kicked out of them.
No, they fought the concussion stuff that finally came about. I mean, they fought that forever.
I don't even think they've ever fully admitted
No.
to any of that stuff.
No. They were against that. I'm talking legal teams
Yeah.
finding that loophole, twisting this into if it occurred or if there's any truth to it whatsoever beyond the allegations that it's medically related, that it's concussion related, that it's trauma related, that it's whatever.
Oh, at some point, yeah.
I feel like that's the go-to now.
If the charges are serious enough and like whoever the defendant is wants to take that to its legal conclusion.
Right, because then we don't have to own it.
Well,
Ryan.
because
then we have an excuse. We don't have to own it. We don't have to take ownership of it.
Because in my mind, 90% of these get solved in civil court.
Yeah.
They just pay off whoever they did this to, and then they move on, right?
More often than not.
Depending
yes.
on the severity of the action.
Correct.
And that's not right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not saying anything as far as that's concerned. It's just that's how these things typically tend to go. So,
and whether they
unless
plead
you're O.J.
guilty,
Simpson.
right? If they plead guilty, if they are found guilty, or if they're acquitted of everything, all three of them will continue to play in the NFL.
Oh yeah, for sure. Listen,
So that's the problem the NFL is going to have.
the one that always surprises me that he ever got a second chance was Chiefs running back.
Larry Johnson?
No. No, it was a guy recently within the last he was on the Chiefs, went to the Browns, eventually came back to the Chiefs.
Oh, Kareem Hunt.
Yes,
Kareem Hunt.
Who, I mean, they had substantial evidence about him beating the absolute piss out of somebody.
They had everything.
Yeah.
They had video. They had everything on that.
But the only thing that saved him was the fact that he was 22 years old.
Yeah.
And he still had plenty of career left.
Yeah. And
I
he
mean,
got released.
There's even things floating around out there that once Henry Ruggs gets released from his prison sentence after he killed those people, that there are teams that could potentially look at picking him up.
And they will.
Because I think he's only 25.
And they will.
Yeah.
Because that's the nature of the business.
Right. Do you have value?
Correct.
But not the correct value that we're looking for.
No, they don't care about that.
Yeah.
They try to. With
They
all
say
the
they
things
do.
on the backs of the helmet and the back of the end zones and stop hate and stop racism and stop all this. Yeah, we want to make it look like we do.
Yeah.
We want to make it look like we care.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite things that I witnessed over the course of the last couple of years man, I don't know if it was during that time, but I would have loved it had it been where Myles Garrett is swinging Mason Rudolph's helmet at him.
Yeah.
And it's got stop hate on the back of it as he's bashing him over the head with his helmet.
Absolutely.
That's the ultimate thing of irony, but I think you've seen it multiple times where these guys have stop hate or
end racism.
Yeah, or whatever it is behind it. And they're just, cool. Glad that worked.
In that situation, that could have been hate and racism.
It could have.
All in the same incident.
Which, I mean, you never
So
find
one helmet says...
Yeah. You never find those two things together either. So.
Nope.
Sarcasm.
Not in my experience.
You got experience with that?
Observation only. Observation.
So, but anyway, it's clear that the NFL's got a problem. I mean, there needs to be...
Does the NFL have a problem, Ryan? MLB has a problem. NCAA has a problem. NFL has a problem. They all have a problem.
They all have their individual, unique problems.
They have a problem. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And it's... I just about said it's great that they have those problems because it gives us something to talk about. That is a pure minimization, and I'm so sorry for that.
Yeah.
In any event, it gives us something to talk about, but they have substantial problems.
Yeah, and I was always told never bring up a problem unless you have a solution or talk about it or whatever, but I don't know what the solution is here for stopping these testosterone jacked dudes from getting in situations like this. I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. I don't know what the solution is. Do you provide them counseling? Do you provide them some sort of therapy throughout the season to make sure that they're not doing stuff like this? Because it is. I mean, this is just. There seems to be a correlation between football players, which is a high-intensity, physical, violent sport, and their inability to have normal, nurturing, non-violent domestic relationships.
Yes, it's very clear they all need to live in a dorm that is supervised year-round with no social media devices, and they just have to if you're a part of the team, then you live with the team year-round in an isolated environment.
So we don't have any say.
That is medically monitored.
Yeah.
And yes, There's your answer.
Yeah.
Boom, there it is.
I don't know, unless it's just a money, power, and influence thing where they think they can just kind of do whatever they want.
Well, and they can, Sorsby. They can.
Yeah. Sorsby. Yeah. So we'll see what all this stuff comes of. I mean, I'm sure there's probably going to be at least one more conversation that will be had about somebody doing something that they're not supposed to in some idiotic way. So these stories never end, and there's always something that's developing. But, oh, there you go. Brandon Ayuk reportedly has a warrant for his arrest in California for speeding.
Yeah.
Surprising. But
he was shooting his mouth off about San Francisco and wearing his commander's hat and all this other good stuff.
That's a guy he's
reaching. He's on his last leg.
What do they call
literally
it? What do they call it
when
you're like throwing your feelings?
Projecting?
Yes, he's projecting. Exactly. Thank you for that.
Yes, he's projecting.
Yeah, for sure. Because this is a guy that, he got his bag, but then he got hurt, and I'm pretty sure he's out of shape. And we already talked about it.
Video shows he's pretty out of shape.
Yeah.
Thought it was an old line getting off the plane.
So, yeah, we'll continue to keep an eye on what's going on around the league. But, I mean, it's always something. It's always something stupid that people want to talk about or make a bigger story of. So,
I'm just glad things like that don't happen to us, Ryan. Just glad we don't find ourselves in these similar situations.
Are you putting yourself in situations to have that happen to you?
That's what I mean.
Is my question.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat my wife's cell phone. We're not gonna put my neck up against hers and hold her in place to take a phone. We're just not going to engage in that type of behavior. And I'm a better person for it, and so is she.
That's great.
We're better people for it.
I'm so glad that you were able to come to that realization.
I am.
That's awesome.
I'm damn sure not dropping $90,000 in sports bets. That I can assure you.
Oh man. Our last story. Basketball.
Oh,
we're following up on your Spurs fandom a little bit. So
I'm glad you didn't release that because I haven't heard a word about it yet because it hasn't been released until like right now.
Yeah.
So now it's going to start, but at least they won a game in the process.
Yeah. Just looking out for you, man.
I appreciate that.
Definitely wasn't because of like crazy life situations or anything.
You about dropped it in the text though. I can't get this out fast enough. Yeah, all right. Ryan,
so last night we had game 3.
Did me dirty.
We had game 3 of the NCAA, jeez, of the NBA Finals in Madison Square Garden in New York City, where the Knicks are taking on the Spurs, and the Spurs were in what many believe and what I believe to be a must-win. Had to get in there, had to come away with a win on the road after dropping 2 straight home games, in games 1 and 2 to the Knicks. A lot of people weren't giving the Knicks a lot of credit coming into this series, saying they kind of had a cakewalk to the finals and they were going to run into a buzzsaw that was the Spurs. But these first 3 games have shown that the Knicks are here. And all of these games have been pretty interesting and pretty close for the most part. This game 3 win goes to San Antonio by the score of 115 to 111. And it was a very interesting last, about 4 minutes of the game. Things kind of went back and forth.
Yes.
Some really big shots hit by multiple guys on both sides. And ultimately went the Spurs' way. Spurs were more physical last night, which definitely favored them. I thought officiating was pretty good, minus like 1 or 2 calls, which is crazy for me to say because it feels like the officiating has been not so great throughout the entirety of the NBA. But our resident Spurs fan, what say you?
Hey, I'm appreciative of the win. I've watched all 3 now, and I'm going to catch a lot of smoke for saying this, but the Spurs, and I think this is, I understand. I think that this is very relative to all teams, regardless of the organization, to all teams with a superstar in the making. But that Spurs team goes as Wemby goes. And that's it. When he's physical and he's aggressive and he's not just dancing around looking for the easy shot, whatever it is, when he gets in the mix and gets after it, the team goes as Wemby goes. And it's like as his confidence increases, the Spurs' confidence increases. But I'll tell you, these games have been physical. And hats off to the Knicks. I did make the proposal that the Knicks would be the team that could come out of the East to actually beat the Thunder because I was anticipating the Thunder being in the finals. I did think that the Knicks matched up well against the Thunder. Now they get the Spurs, and they're doing all of that. I didn't follow them. a lot this year. I know they had Brunson. I know they've got Karl Anthony Towns. I know they got some big names, and they got guys that can make shots in big moments. But I wasn't ready to give them the credit that they have earned so far. Because even last night, that was 1 or 2 baskets away from completely standing that game on its head just before halftime. When they went on a 10-1 run or 11-1 run right before the half, whatever it was, I'm like, they're going to do it again. They're going to turn this thing right on its head, and it's going to be done. Huge props to the Knicks. Man, they're battling. But these games are physical, and I like that, and I don't feel like the officials are getting in the way, and there is defense being played. So I'm the guy that, steer away from the NBA. They don't play any defense. There is defense being played, and it's refreshing to watch these two teams in the finals. It's not your Lakers. It's not the Celtics. It's not some of those teams that you're accustomed to seeing in there. It's actually two very gritty teams with some youth, definitely on the Spurs side, that are elevating. And it's a ton of fun. Ton of fun to watch.
Yeah, there was a sequence that happened last night, I want to say maybe around the 2.5 to 3 minute mark, where it was consistently really good ball movement happening by the Knicks. But even with as good as the ball movement was, it was followed up by incredible defense and pursuit to the ball.
Yes.
And eventually ended up with like 2 or 3 blocks by the Spurs underneath the hoop.
Yeah.
That the Knicks had opportunities to score on, right?
Yeah, and I think it's great when a loose ball hits the floor. And I mean, it's barely loose, like player just loses possession for a second and it's an immediate turnover.
Yeah.
That's the type of defense I like to watch. Yeah. That's the stuff I like to see.
Yeah.
I can wrap my head around that.
Yeah, I think it's been a fun series to watch so far, where you've got the first game goes to the Knicks by 10 points, but then you come back on Friday, June 5th, and the Spurs had an opportunity to win that game late. I mean, there was a terrible turnover by Wemby, and then he had an open shot for 2 to basically win the game. Didn't make it, and now that's the difference in the series.
Right.
So you have the Knicks taking game 1 by 10 points. You have the Spurs taking game 3 by 4 points, and then you have this game 2 in the middle that was 104 to 105. And one shot goes one way or another, and we're looking at a completely different series and a completely different narrative. But because it went the Knicks' way, there was a lot of momentum going into this game, and people feeling like, oh man, I think the Knicks are going to sweep them. What they forget is this is a very talented San Antonio team, one that's very well coached. Greg Popovich still has his fingerprints all over this organization and all over this team. And in that coaching staff, especially since their current head coach comes from that tree directly. I mean, when Pop had his had his stroke, he stepped in, and he's been there ever since.
Yeah.
So this is still very much of that DNA. But I agree with you. I think Wemby was the best player on the court last night, and it showed. And they were able to hold Cat to like a point in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So, and there were some shots that were missed and some other things that kind of didn't bounce the Knicks' way. But things like that will happen. I mean, they won 13 straight games, and eventually your number's going to get called to lose one. That's just kind of how it goes, especially in a sport like that.
So I didn't see the illustration. Is this the first time that the road team has won 3 consecutive in the finals?
I have no idea.
An illustration came up on the TV, but I missed it. But I was curious about it, and I know they touched on it and they talked about it a little bit, but I didn't know if the road team, for 3 consecutive games, if the road team came out on top in finals, not postseason, not whatever, just in the finals.
Let's find out. Road team has won only 3 consecutive games to start the NBA Finals series twice in league history.
There we go. Is this one of 2?
The most recent occurrence is in 2026 between the Knicks and the Spurs, and the other instance happened in 1993 when the Chicago Bulls won the first 2 games on the road against the Suns, and then the Suns subsequently won Game 3 in Chicago.
There we go.
So, yeah.
Kind of takes the home court advantage out of it, doesn't it?
For now, it does. I mean, you imagine what happens. I mean, so now you're looking for the first time in history where San Antonio can win on Wednesday. That would be 4 straight road wins.
Right.
In the finals.
Right.
And then it becomes a best of 3 series with San Antonio taking home field advantage back.
Yes.
And now we've got a really interesting conversation on our hands.
And that is what's going to happen because that's the way the NBA has it scripted because they want a Game 7 in the finals.
Yeah, if you want to go that route, that's perfect. But I do believe that is quite possibly the most captivating story because I think if the Knicks come away with a win last night, you're up 3-0. No team's ever come back from 3-0. You've still got one more game at home in Game 4 plus another one if you happen to take it to Game 6. The chances of the Spurs coming back are pretty much non-existent, right? Yep. So now you've got a series. Spurs win, and now it makes Game 4 very interesting. This puts a little bit more pressure back on the Knicks because, now you're sitting in the locker room going, oh my gosh, we were 4 points away from potentially being up 3-0 and pretty much having this thing locked up.
Right.
And now it kind of sits in the back of your head of like, shit, if we drop Game 4, this is a whole new thing, like a whole new mindset, And this
0-0.
This is where that the mental endurance comes in of these series, right? And what kind of makes baseball, basketball, hockey, these series so intriguing. There's a mourning dove outside.
Oh,
yeah.
Pissing me off.
You tell me about it. Makes it so intriguing because now it becomes a game of not only adjustments, but like I said, that mental fortitude and being able to persevere through those things. There's a lot of momentum towards San Antonio's side, and I think it helped them not having to. They played on Friday, and then they had a couple days off. This is a team that just played 7 games against what some people consider the best team in the league and beat them. And so they're a little tired, but you're gaining a little bit of momentum now.
That's where I was going to go. The harder path was definitely taken by the Spurs.
Yeah, for sure. They're out of the West.
Yep.
The East is kind of a joke anyway. So, but yeah, it's definitely kind of reignited my interest in it. I wasn't overly interested. I had some other stuff going on, but yeah, game 4 on Wednesday is definitely going to have my attention for sure as to what's going on and how that's going to play out. Just because I think it's another interesting narrative having it be back in New York. Can the Knicks and all of their crazy fans and $6,000 minimum just to get in the building and everything that goes into that, right?
So it's absurd.
Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of people out there that'll want to blame the environment and the president being there and all sorts of other stuff. I didn't see any of that. I thought the Knicks played fine. Still only lost by 4. They had their opportunities. They just didn't make the shots.
Yeah.
So
their coach is pissed off about the officiating, but only in the game they lost.
You want to be pissed off about the officiating? How about your second best player having a point in the fourth quarter?
Correct.
Let's talk about that.
I'm with you. I'm just saying Nick's coach was pissed off about the officiating.
And I'll tell you something else. The team that has committed the most turnovers, Kelly, hasn't won a game in this series.
Yep.
They're 0-3.
Yes.
So the Knicks committed more turnovers last night and lost the game.
Man, they made some big shots, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Both teams did.
Brunson squaring up out there from damn
and I brought it up last night. I'm like, if there's anybody in the world that you want to take a shot to end the game, and Brunson might be the guy.
Yeah.
He's got ice in his veins. And then, I've been giving De'Aaron Fox in private a lot of flack for his inability to show up, and he's like, is he really as good as everybody says he is? Because he hasn't really had a great playoff. He made a huge shot late in the game to put them up 5, and it kind of iced the game. So good for them. I think it's a lot of interesting conversations and storylines going on with this one between the legacy and the history of the Knicks and then this upcoming alien that is Wemby. It's like, man, if he gets one at 23, what happens for the next 10 years?
Right.
So
I really like that Castle kid. Is there a reason I shouldn't like him?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I like that Castle kid. He's young.
They got a lot of good role players, a lot of young, good guys that are out there making shots.
He seemed pretty
composed.
Off. He seemed composed.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, game 4 will be Wednesday in New York again. And if the Knicks have their way, hopefully without a lot of pomp and circumstance, the president has already said he's not going to be there. So there's already been a lot of flack for that, but it is what it is. He's a citizen too. He can go where he wants to go. If he wants to show up to a game, just get over it. It'll be fine.
I'm in the weeds on that one. I have no idea what you're referencing.
I'm talking about President Trump showing up to the game last night.
I know you said president. Did he show up?
Yeah, he was there.
Oh, I watched the whole game. I didn't see him.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all good. No, everybody was complaining about the fact that it was like, it was a TSA type environment to get into the stadium, and they weren't allowing certain things.
Gotcha.
And all this other stuff.
I didn't know.
You had to
anything
arrive
about
2 hours early just to get in, and blah 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 blah. And
I knew nothing.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
Whatever.
I just like to watch the game.
Never mind the fact that it was $6,000 minimum just to get in the building.
Huh.
So it sounds like a bunch of rich people complaining about having to wait to do something. Wah.
Well, they show them enough down there on the old courtside seating. They show.
Oh yeah, Ben Stiller,
all the superstars.
Timothy Chalamet right
there.
there.
We had Eli Manning there.
Yeah.
We had Jeter, of course, is sitting there. Yeah, we got them all.
Did you see? So Cardi B did the halftime show.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear Charles?
Oh, about Shaq?
Well, Shaq
being all fired up?
Shaq couldn't take her eyes off her, but Charles said something to the effect of like, Cardi B, more like Cardi D. Live television.
As only
ESPN.
Charles would.
I mean, there's a reason they're like the best sports show there is because they just, they're super funny and incredible. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, do you have anything else?
No, I don't. I don't. I do. I had the questions from last week regarding the NCAA college football stuff. I'm not asking them because I'm pissed off about our opening segment today, and I'm not going to ask anything related to the NCAA football. I'm not. Right. Yeah. I'm just not.
Yeah, not a lot of good conversations going on anywhere else. We're kind of in the lull of some of these things. Like the NBA is the fun thing to talk about currently because they're in the finals. Everybody's at OTAs for football, so we already had the excitement of the Super Bowl. We've gone through the draft. Well, the pre-draft stuff, the draft, the post-draft, the schedule release, and now guys are just running around in shorts doing their thing with helmets on and
rehabbing.
Right, and it's just kind of fun to see them interacting together. There was a couple of signings that happened, some things like that. Nothing crazy or substantial, so I probably won't get any more good NFL news until July or something. I guess the big topic of conversation was the fact that Mr. Williams of the Bears made the cover of Madden.
Oh, good.
So a lot of people have been talking about that stuff.
Well, my agent hasn't reached out to me yet, so I do think that I'll probably still be sitting here during the football season.
Oh, that's too bad.
So just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Let you know that right now. Full disclosure.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be waiting on pins and needles to see where that story goes. So,
guaranteed if I make it, Ryan, if I get called up, there won't be domestic violence.
That's good.
This I can assure you.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, you haven't been smacked in the head enough for that to not.
Oh, I've got plenty of head trauma.
You got trauma.
Ask around. People will tell you. I've got plenty.
So yeah, the one interesting thing that I wish was a month later because I'll be in Vegas was the fact that the A's are hosting the Brewers right now, and then they'll have the Cardinals. Jeez, I'm gonna get shit for that. The Rockies.
See, if you just had a team, you'd be in the clear.
I would, yeah.
But when maybe
I'll just edit that out.
When you don't you dare. There's a bunch of shit in here that should be edited out.
They play the Rockies next, but it's at the University of Las Vegas Stadium, so they're actually playing in Vegas.
Oh, fun!
So for a couple of series, which is good, and then the opener in Vegas went 15-14 in Las Vegas for the A's. So the Brewers win, but yeah, that would have been a fun game to be to.
There you go.
Be B2, be at. Jeez.
Well, you can't hardly lose. I mean, you can go to any stadium you want, and you're going to like at least one of the teams there.
Nice.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Nice.
It's a no lose for you.
Says the guy that's currently just become a fan of a team that's in the NBA Finals.
Oh, really? We were doing so well.
You opened yourself up for that one.
We were doing so well. I asked permission to be a fan. I asked permission.
A fan.
Don't worry. I'm still back in those Royals.
Me.
All 12 games under 500.
Yeah, didn't your shortstop just get hurt?
I don't know. Oh, Bobby?
Yeah.
So he left.
Tweaked a hammy or something.
He left with knee soreness. That's all I saw. He left with knee soreness.
Yeah, he left with.
And he should. When you carry the entire damn team on your back, your knees are going to get sore.
Babby. I like him. He's good stuff.
You better edit out the GD I just put in there. Attaboy.
Annie Hoozle. Yeah, so we're just kind of waiting for things to happen. I'm sure there'll be more stuff to talk about next week, but
no, there's not, because you're not here.
Oh shoot, that's right.
There's going to be a lot more to talk about in 2 weeks.
Dos. That's 2 in Spanish, I believe.
It's good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna see if we had any. I don't think we do, but
no, because you didn't release it.
From like previous people.
We're gonna get torched. Well, I'm going to get torched over the whole Spurs thing.
I went fishing yesterday
and caught nothing.
We caught 4 bluegill and the smallest perch there has ever been.
Wonderful. Did you go to Sheridan?
We went to Pactola.
Oh,
which is really bad.
It's looking bad.
So I'd say 10 to 15 feet low.
Heard that.
terrible.
Yep, heard that. Looks terrible from the highway.
Jenny Gulch is pretty much non-existent.
Yep.
It's like all dried up.
Jenny dried up.
Nice. So yeah, that's happening. But where was I going to go with this? Anyway, I do believe that my boat is still cursed because we haven't caught anything bigger than a 12-inch bluegill. Like that's about it. Like been waiting to land that elusive trout or something that's worth keeping.
Yeah, you could catch what you're catching from shore.
Yeah. So the SS Minnow Johnson is still trying to figure out its ability to catch some things. So. But apparently, according to the Farmer's Almanac, yesterday, June 8th, was supposed to be like the day to go fishing in the hills because it was, you've got temperatures that have kind of in the water that have sorted themselves out where it's not so much, cold on the bottom, hot on the top. Everything's, kind of leveled itself out. So you've got fish that are active of all sizes and all sorts of things. And it just, whatever, man. I mean, we were out there for 5 hours. Pretty much fished every inch of that lake and just couldn't find anything. But it was ironically it was sink or swim because you were either 100 feet to the bottom or you were like
6.
Yeah, just because of the levels were so bad. So,
yep.
And I don't know. I'd be curious to know if Game Fish and Parks is even stocking it currently because of how low the waters are.
Man, I don't know.
I have no idea.
It looks bad.
It's not great.
No,
it's not great. So, we're gonna go out for Father's Day. And we might head up Sheridan. I've seemed to have a little bit more luck at Sheridan, but with the way that my boat has been cursed, and maybe there's no luck in whatsoever.
You want me to break that curse? Put me on that boat. You'll break that. You'll catch more than one fish an hour.
Tell you what, that Mariner 100 I got on the back of that Lund, though, sat all winter. Obviously, winterized it. Got her out on the lake. Took about 2 minutes. She fired right up and then never had an issue again. That's a 30-year-old motor. Just getting after it, man. Yep. The ingenuity from Mariner and Lund and their partnership or whatever they're doing, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So,
you ever fish out of a kayak?
No, because no.
Whew. I wouldn't advise it.
I was gonna say the last time I was in a kayak was with my wife, and she could not figure out the balancing act of things.
Correct.
And I'm like, stop moving.
Was that a kayak or a canoe?
Oh, it was a canoe. My apologies.
Yeah. Not any better in a kayak.
It would move a little bit to the right. She's like, whoa, and then she'd move to the left. I'm like, you gotta chill.
That's why people dump them. That's what happens.
You gotta chill.
Because balance goes out of whack, and then the other person tries to counterbalance, and all of a sudden, you're both in the drink.
So, do you know how many times we've been in a canoe since then?
0.
0 times.
Yep.
So,
where's your sense of adventure? Try fishing out of a kayak sometime. Because they make fishing kayaks, right? And they're pretty cool. Like, they even have the ones where you can pedal them.
Oh,
I've seen. You got your own little rudders and all that stuff, and they're a bit flatter and wider, so you don't have the instability as much as like a regular recreational kayak. Yeah. But I got the old recreational kayak, and I've only done it once, so I'm no pro. But I've only done it one time. But I installed some pole holder here, and I got this, and finding a place to put stuff, tackle boxes, nets, all the other stuff. I mean, you're ramming stuff down between your legs and doing all that stuff, but when you actually catch the fish,
you're like,
it's a circus.
What do I do with it?
It's a freaking circus, man. Because got to set the pole up, got to get the fish off, got to reach for the net, got to do all this. It is an absolute circus.
Nice.
Trying to fish from a kayak.
Yeah.
So I've
seen the guys out there doing it, but most of the time when I see them, the guys are pulling in like, 14-inch trout, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then they got 2 poles going, and it's a whole bit, and yeah.
Yeah, no. Nope, it was hard enough with just...
There were 4 people on a John boat with a kicker yesterday out in the middle of Pactola, and I'm like, what? Because we were kind of going towards them. They were going at us. And my buddy Nate and I are looking, and we're like, what is coming towards us? And I mean, it's like, it looked like a raft type of thing, and it keeps getting closer and keeps getting closer. And there's one in the front, one on the right, one on the left, and one in the back towards the motor, and they're just... going around Alcatraz over there.
That could not have been very high out of the water.
It had a hole in it, so it was a little, so they could.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't like. So it seemed like a deep boat.
You don't want to tip it too far to the left or right.
Yeah, but I'm like, dude, that's gonna be so uncomfortable after 20 minutes of not being able to move. You can't even stand.
But they were catching fish.
Yeah, I know they weren't.
Oh, you don't know. They just had them on a stringer.
Okay. But I mean, we get 3 people on my fishing boat, and you could put, if you wanted to, you could put 5 chairs in it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes 3 is too many because you're like trying to figure out where people are at and all that stuff. They had 4, and I'm like, oh, you're not going to stand ever.
Oh, wow.
Because if you stand, it's just gonna throw the equilibrium of the boat off.
Taking the leak out of the side of the boat gets a little interesting,
man.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was pretty proud of that 98 Lund yesterday. That was a good time.
It's not about catching the fish, Ryan. It's about the experience of being out there.
So we got out there at 8, and it was glass. Like wind hadn't started blowing yet, none of it. And so I get it fired up, and I'm like, where do you want to go? And like, let's take a lap around, blow out some of the old gas, do that whole thing. We are scooting across this lake, man, because there's no break. It's all glass. None of it is, the water's not moving. And we're doing like 25 miles an hour across this lake, and it just feels like you're just flying. Literally, like you're just gliding, right? Not knowing that any little thing could just absolutely kill you. But, yeah, there's just times like that where you're like, this is pretty cool. This is a good time. And the wind picked up, and then we never got to do that again. But, yeah.
They have rock piles and stuff out there?
They
like
do.
Anything that you have to really pay attention to, or do they have them buoyed?
So they normally have them buoyed, but the waters are so low that you're actually...
You can physically see
You
them.
can physically see 6 feet of the rock that is usually buoyed.
Got it.
Because we were coming around kind of towards Jenny Gulch there, and I remember when we rented a pontoon 2 years ago, they said there's a buoy out there and there's a rock. Go far left around it so you don't hit it. And we're going over there, and I'm like, there's a rock here somewhere. There's even a sign on a tree that literally just says rock, and it has an arrow pointing down to it, right? And we get over to it, and there it is. There's the rock, but the jagged edges of the rock are like probably 6 feet above the water.
Oh, wow.
Which goes to show you how low the water is.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go around to where Jenny Gulch is, and I mean, it's just a barren flat. Like I think we got down to like 2 feet of water before we turned around.
Oof.
It's terrible.
Pull the motor. Pull the motor.
Yeah, luckily it wasn't that bad, but
oof.
Yeah.
No rock jumping this summer.
No. Yeah, very low. So pray for rain. We need it. I always hated that growing up where the old guys would be like, I'm glad it's raining. We need the moisture. This is super nice. And I'm like, so then it became a running joke for me. I'm like, who's going to say it? It's raining. Anybody? Anybody going to say it? All right, I'll say it. This is nice. We need the moisture. And so now that I own a lawn and I fish and I care about,
moisture.
More than just, moisture.
Yeah.
Phrasing.
You care about moisture.
Yeah, and I care about, more things than just myself as a teenager.
Sure.
I'm like, all right, rain is good. Let's go. Let's get these water levels back up. I don't have to water my yard as much. Everything's greener. Every day you just slowly become more and more like your dad.
Yeah.
Scary thing.
Yeah. You know where I was going to go with that.
You were going to say you hope not?
I'm going to deviate.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on this trip as always. If you want to be a part of the show, you can comment on your podcast service of choice. You can send us an email at thearmchairauthority@gmail.com.
What's going on?
You tell me. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram. You can get updates on Instagram as to when new episodes are dropping and things like that. Merch is also listed there, tpublic.com. I'm probably going to figure out a different way to do that so you guys can maybe have an easier time of getting a hold of different things, and then I can post some stuff if I need to. But that'll come later, as it normally does. We always promise things and then never deliver until 6 months later. Or sometimes ever. It's just a running joke, which is good.
Like the cameras.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Yeah.
Back ordered.
Yeah. Totally. So those are some different ways that you can reach out or be a part of the show if you choose to. Like I said, there will be no episode next week, but you'll get 2 episodes this week. So, don't get sick of us and don't forget about us when we come back in a couple weeks, just due to scheduling and work issues and stuff like that. So that's why we're doing that. Yeah. But until then, I hope you guys have a safe and wonderful week. And dude, we're barreling through summer already. I can't believe it. There's a conference that I go to in August, the end of summer every year. And I just was talking to somebody at a store, and they're like, oh, yeah, we got that managers meeting coming up in about 10 weeks. And I said, when you put it like that, it's real depressing.
Yeah.
10 weeks of summer left. That's it.
Yep.
Womp, womp, womp.
But we're that much closer to football season, right?
It's true.
That much closer.
I don't know if I made the joke last week, but we are August. What was it? It was up here. Hold on. This is real good stuff. August 6th. 2 months. We get the Panthers and the Cardinals.
Woohoo!
Preseason game for the Hall of Fame game. Whoever scheduled that Hall of Fame game needs to have their contract looked at because that's not.
Aaron Donald versus Larry Fitzgerald. Here it comes. Here it comes.
When I think of a Hall of Fame, I definitely think of the Panthers and the Cardinals.
Yep. I know I did.
It's great. It's good. So, anyway, you guys be safe out there, and we will talk to you soon.
They know the game, but they're keeping it fun. Poking fun at the stats, they're second to none. From fantasy leagues to the locker room jokes, they got the edge no one's ever broke. They don't need a suit, they don't need